We're ready. So, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Hunters Hub. This is your host Fortuan, joined by co-host Sasha. How we doing today?
Good, good. I'm prepared with all the Zelda games that we might hear tonight and Metroid, both.
Nice. All right. Yeah, cuz there might be a few here. There's
Mm-hmm.
definitely there's definitely years where these appeared. Um
Yep. Years and probably Final Jeopardy. Just ready for it.
I got no hints for you. It's you're on your own. You got to take the title back from Ace.
Learning history is the hint.
Which, speaking of which, might be easy because, like a floundering college student, I did not study at all for this exam.
And also welcome Ace. How we doing?
Good. Got to review the years for about 5 minutes just now.
Yep.
Well, I just made like
Can't
the
say that
study
anything
card.
stuck at all. But I've got coffee, so that's exam material right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 50% of my degree.
I think we all had busy weeks then because, like I was saying, I'm not gonna say too much on the podcast about it, but I had a lot of child stuff to deal with as far as legal stuff, and yeah, pretty heavy stuff for me this week. And of course, you've got a baby coming on the way, Ace, and Sasha. You work in a very busy field to begin with, so.
Yep. Yep.
But has it been overall less busy in the new job?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I have a more challenging caseload. That is for sure. So that makes it a little bit more stressful, but the volume of work is less.
Okay.
So it's a little give and take.
Add
Give me
There's
some time
also
though.
add stress.
other people there that can do your job as well and fill in for you if you need
Yes.
vacation time, right?
Yeah, that really helps. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it just needs a little TLC. All my staff are like brand new to the field, and the clients were not in a good place, but work my magic. We'll get there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alrighty. Well, so tonight, we are doing quiz show number 10. This is the 10th time we've done this, folks. So, if you're unfamiliar, what we do, I call this guess the game. We will be having we have 5 years in which we'll be spanning all the games, and we have 3 games in each year. We did have a guest lined up for tonight, but unfortunately he had to bail because of family situation, which is understandable. So what we're going to do is a head-to-head. So we have 3 games. Ace is the belt holder for now, so he'll be choosing if he goes first or
I was gonna
Sasha.
say, don't say reigning champion. Don't do that.
Uh,
That has been far from the case.
So he will be selecting game A, B, or C, and the game they will be trying to guess the title of the game based on the 3 clues that I can give. The first free clue is the year, of course. But clue number 1, if they guess it on that, is 3 points. Clue number 2 is 2, and clue number 3 is 1 point. And the person with the most points after the 5 years and the Jeopardy round wins. And what we have for the Jeopardy round is a randomly chosen year out of the 5 years that we're doing tonight, and a randomly chose game in the list of 10 that I use. And just a little bit of background, I find 10 games for each year, I roll a die, and we decide those games. And I will say, tonight is the first night that I did not replace years where I found out that my year was wrong. I just picked a different year. So when we go over them at the end, I'll tell you which ones I had on the year list that are actually invalid. But I didn't take, because I barely got this done this week because of all the kid stuff. So there's a few games on here that I have highlighted red on my list because they are not actually from the year that I thought they were. So I just rolled for a different game when I actually got to writing the questions. So for the listeners, we are starting out, and we will be doing this in chronological order. So 1986, 1998, 2007, 2012, and 2019. So, without further ado, Ace, it is your choice on if you go first or second. And our first year is 1986.
I can go first.
Alrighty. So, game A, B, or C?
C.
I knew you were going to do that.
Okay. Game C.
Sniping. I probably won't get it, but I'll take it.
Alrighty. So, 1986, Game C, our first question. Dubbed as too difficult for other audiences, this game was indeed released this year, but didn't find its way outside of Japan until being included in a multi-pack of games on the SNES.
I'll go for a second clue.
All right, clue number 2. Everything from wind to frame-perfect jumps to poison mushrooms made this the most challenging form of this series for many years to come. That is until Kaizo became a thing.
Bet you're glad you picked C.
I would say that. I'll go for a third hint, I guess.
All right, clue number 3. While many believe the Doki Doki Panic reskin to be the sequel to Super Mario Bros., this game is actually the true sequel.
Super Mario Bros. Special?
It's not. That's not it. So,
Uh.
Sasha, do you have a guess?
I remember seeing that on the list, but so it's not a Mario game, or is it?
I'm not
Kid
saying
Icarus.
no. It is actually Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Okay.
if you guys were unsure what Kaizo is a form of ROM hacking Mario games to become extremely difficult, and it's a very big thing on Twitch and speedruns and all sorts of stuff. Kaizo Mario is like super hardcore Mario mode.
Is that like a predecessor to like Cat Mario?
No, it's just Kaizo is a Japanese word. I do not know what it stands for. It even predates Mario Maker, but Mario Maker sort of blew it up a bit. So people talk about Kaizo Mario levels and Mario Maker. Kaizo are actual real ROM hacks of the games. I do suggest you look it up sometime. That is some impressive Mario gameplay just to get these things finished. It's like highest level strats.
Well, like Cat Mario was popular for a while because it's just a game that is hard and screws with you.
Yeah.
Because it has a lot of those like false invisible blocks that you'll jump into that prevent you from jumping higher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I watched a lot of people stream that.
Yeah, essentially. It's like that. It's just very difficult Mario. I had to actually zero out the scores because I didn't do that. So, Sasha, game A or B? No points awarded on that one.
I'm going to take A.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. I am unfortunately having other problems.
Uh-oh.
No, it's just I have all the games written in the score thing from last time, so okay, so you said game A. All right, game A. So first clue, 1986, game A. While many remember this Konami series on the NES, it actually started on PC.
I'll take the second clue.
All right. Healing in video games, especially in this era, involved eating food. However, no other games had the infamous wall chicken.
Wall chicken?
It is a common trope in games now, just to have like a random chicken pop out of a wall. He
And the
heals.
third clue?
Simon Belmont, the first of the Belmont legacy, takes on Count Dracula after his castle suddenly appears 100 years after Simon's own ancestors defeated the vampire lord.
Castlevania.
That is correct. Castlevania for 1 point.
Dang.
I should have just swung for the fences because when you said Konami, my gut said Castlevania. Then you said Wild Chicken, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Wall chicken. Yeah, you bust a wall and there's just a plate of chicken sitting there just behind the wall. Just It became a thing in video games, like especially brawlers and that kind of stuff. You'll see a plate. It happens in. I've been playing Shovel Knight again, King of Cards, because I never finished that campaign. It happens in Shovel Knight. There's just a wall chicken. You bust down a wall and there's a chicken on a plate, and it heals you. Like it's just a trope of the time. So we are skipping game B. We will see that on the. Can you guys best your own score deal? So 1998, Sasha, your first pick on A, B, or C.
C.
All right. So game C, 1988, first clue. When making a sequel, most want to go bigger and better, and Black Isle Studios featured a massively larger game on both map size and intricate and story options.
And the second clue?
Sorry. That one's weirded. That's like worded very weird. While it was a critical success, it would take 10 years until the sequel was released by Bethesda buying the rights from Interplay.
Fallout 2.
That is correct for 2 points. The vague clue is Black Isle Studios being the developer of Fallout.
Yeah, it was like I've played a little bit of the original Fallout, so it's like, somewhere buried deep in my head.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Sasha, 2 points. Ace, game A or B?
I'll go for B.
All right. Man, I really wanted you guys to pick A. I was super excited about A. But anyways, here we are.
I can go with A.
No, you're doing B. Can't change it. All right. So, first clue.
Says who?
Me.
Boo.
First clue, 1998, game B. Following the success of Mario 64, Crystal Dynamics made their 2D platformer into a 3D platformer for the second game in this series.
Can you repeat that?
Okay. Following the success of Mario 64, Crystal Dynamics made their 2D platformer a 3D platformer and for their second game in this series. Essentially, game number 2 became a 3D platformer because of Mario 64's success by Crystal Dynamics.
I'll take a second hint.
Okay. While it released on many platforms, the N64 version of this is the only one that differed. It had less lines of dialogue, 6 whole levels less, and reviewed poorly in comparison to the PlayStation 3DO, PC, and Sega Saturn versions.
Is this Sonic Adventure?
It is not Sonic Adventure. Sasha, can you steal for 2 points? Or would you like a third clue?
I'm going to take the third clue.
Okay. Third clue. The protagonist, always known for his quirky pop culture references, finds himself zapped into the movies he loves watching on TV. Everything from horror to cartoons, even a secret Titanic level in the N64 version.
Okay, I think I know this, but what's throwing me off is I didn't know this was on N64. Gex, Enter the Gecko.
That is correct for 1 point.
I played this on PlayStation, and I remember renting it from Blockbuster and being so excited about the horror movies.
Yep.
I've never played a Gex game, but I've seen Scott the Woz make references to Gex in a bunch of his videos.
Yep.
Never played them. Don't know anything about the stories or the plot lines, but
All right.
As a child, Gex taught me the phrase, open up a can of whoop ass.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Ace, you are up for the choice on the next year. 2007. Game A, B, or C?
I'll go with A.
Okay. Game A. Question, Game A, 2007, Clue 1, or Question 1. Despite Retro Studios claiming this was the final chapter of this popular series, they are currently back at work for the next installment.
Take a second hint.
Okay? The game was already nearly completed when Nintendo announced the Wiimote, which developers hadn't accounted for in this first-person shooter. Yet they still managed to pull it off and did so receiving critical acclaim. Ace has a very concerned, frowning face.
I need to apparently play a lot more games in these earlier years. I guess I'll take a third hint.
This was the year after I graduated high school, so
This is the year I graduated.
yeah. All right. The third clue. Following the events after Echoes, only 6 months later, Samus confronts the space pirates who attack the Galactic Federation. However, when the Phazon corrupts her and other bounty hunters, she must face down possibly her greatest enemy, Dark Samus.
Metroid 3 Corruption?
That's close enough. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. That's... There you go, Ace. That's a point.
Yay!
Don't worry, I have never played this one either. I've played 1, I've played 2, I can't get to 3. I fizzle out midway through 2 every time. So
Has Mario ever done that trope
what?
of having the dark version of themselves?
Yes, it's in Super Mario Sunshine.
So I was gonna say that's
it's not really him
pretty...
though. It's Baby Bowser disguised as him, but it is a dark Mario.
Yeah, because I was gonna say between like Dark Samus and like Dark Link and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's a pretty common trope of like having the inverse of the character
yeah.
being.
So, game B or C, Sasha?
C.
Okay. 2007, Game C. Clue 1. Blizzard has a reputation by this point for developers leaving and forming their own studios. And this may have been one of the earliest examples, with flagship studios releasing this first game led by many who left working on Diablo 1.
And the second clue?
All right. Unfortunately, the game only received mixed reviews and sold about 1 million copies. The very next year, the IP was seized when the studio closed down, shutting down the online portion of the game. However, many fans seem to fondly remember this roguelike Diablo-ish experience that it offered.
Okay, I'm gonna swing for the fences, but I'm not very confident about this. Torchlight?
No.
Dang.
No, the Torchlight developers are still in business. They're actually releasing a game here pretty soon. Torchlight Infinite, I think it's called. So, Ace, would you like to steal, or you want to go for clue 3?
Can I get the 2 hints again?
Sure. Clue 1 is Blizzard had a reputation by this point for has a reputation, not had, for developers leaving and forming their own studios. And this may be one of the earliest examples, with flagship studios releasing this first game led by many who left Blizzard after working on Diablo 1. Diablo 1.
I guess, yeah, I'll go for a third hint.
You on with the second one first?
There's
What?
another clue.
You don't want the
There's
second
another
clue?
Oh, you didn't read it already? Sorry.
That's the first clue. The second clue is, unfortunately, the game only received mixed reviews and sold about 1 million copies. The very next year, the IP was seized when the studio closed down, shutting down the online portion of the game. However, many fans seem to finally remember the rogue-like Diablo-ish experience it offered.
Yeah, I guess I'll take the third hint.
Okay. Despite being specifically set in London, due to the various companies picking it up and re-releasing it, it now also includes both South Korean and Japanese cities.
I can't say that I have a guess.
Throw something out there. Worth a shot.
I don't know. No, I don't. I
Okay.
don't have a clue.
All right, so now no one gets it. It's Hellgate London. This was a pretty big epic fail at the time. A lot of people were really hyped for this game, and a lot of people still liked it, but it just bombed. And it's an example of one of the earliest studios that formed directly after leaving, like a team directly leaving Blizzard. But you're right, Sasha. The Torchlight developers are also a team of people who left after working on Diablo 2, including one of the lead developers, David Brevik.
I mean, I can feel it as I'm playing Torchlight that it stinks of Blizzard.
Yeah. Okay. So no points on that one. So we move on to 2012, which I do believe we're back to Sasha picking first. So game A, B, or C?
See?
Oop, I gotta write down Hellgate. Hold on. I might have to pay attention sometimes to when I lose track of the ones we don't get, because it messes me up sometimes at the end. Okay. All right. So, game C for 2012, Clue 1. Many games explore real-life events and histories, as does this series. However, not many use the American Revolution as a backdrop, as this one did.
Assassin's Creed 3.
That is correct. Assassin's Creed 3.
That was like a give me. Especially because you talk about that one all the time.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's other reasons, which is in clue number 2, but yes. All right.
Oh boy.
Wow. All right. Ace, A or B for 2012?
I'll go for A.
A. All right. 2012, Game A. In an effort to salvage the poor sales of the permadeath survival horror game, Ubisoft relaunched, dropping the last letter of the title, hoping to garner more sales. It did not. It seems like stripping a bunch of features wasn't a good idea. Ooh, Ace looks like he thinks he knows it.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to take a second hint.
Okay. So second hint. I just realized the way I wrote this. No, because I expected 3 people. So we would have had to read every clue. Okay, anyways, second clue. Another game that failed to the press and set in London featured a zombie apocalypse, famously showing a red-coated black fuzzy hat zombie. You could also use a cricket bat as a weapon.
Is this Isn't this a zombie with like 2 eyes? Or whatever? Or Zombie U for the Wii U version?
I can't answer your question unless that's a guess.
Yes, that would be my guess.
Zombie U is correct, or zombie.
Okay. Yeah, we have that on the Wii U. I just wasn't sure if it had that moniker for all the games or just the Wii U version, because Wii U.
When it originally released, it's why that was in Clue 1. They dropped the U, and it's just zombie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got 2 points on that one, Ace.
Yay!
You're not too far behind. It's 3-7, so you can possibly make this up.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
I mean, if you nail this one, and she doesn't get any on this one, you're only 1 point behind, and the Jeopardy can catch you up. So
yeah.
So that's where we're standing, 3-7 going into the last year. Ace, it is your pick on the first game, A, B, or C.
I'll go with A.
A, okay.
Very kind of you.
2019.
You started shaking your head, and I was very tempted to just go and take it.
All right. So, game A, 2019, Clue 1 for Ace. This game was born out of a very high-profile and rocky split between Konami and their star developer, making his own game studio.
Baby fetus Norman Reedus.
Okay, can you tell me the name of the game?
Death Stranding.
Okay. Yes, 3 points for Ace.
This is from origins of PT.
Yep.
Because they were making it a Silent Hill game, and then all that shit happened.
All
People
right.
were fucking excited for it too, which is disappointing.
6-7, Sasha, game B or
that
C.
hurts me. Oh man,
Fuck it up.
I'm about to get
Fuck
hit
it up.
by an. Yeah, it's
Fuck
gonna be a
it up.
Nintendo game. So all right, let's go. C.
All right. 2019,
Oh.
game C. Clue 1. Moving from planet to planet, dealing with the various problems, concerns of the colonists while figuring out the mysteries of who you are is the point of this game.
The Outer Worlds.
That is correct. For 3 points.
And
That is not a Nintendo game. That is certainly not a Nintendo game.
No.
Actually, it is on Switch, though. And it did get good reviews on Switch. But it is not strictly a Nintendo game.
No, I just got very lucky. It's like the only game I played in 2019.
Yeah, I also assign them randomly on where they're at in the list for A, B, and C because Sasha tends to pick C, and I was like, well, Outer Worlds for Sasha on C. This is gonna be a gimme. All right, so we are sitting at 6-10 for the Jeopardy round. The year for the Jeopardy round is 2012.
A fine vintage.
I like that.
Okay, so
A good year.
you guys are gonna be writing down. Don't do what Morg did last time and put it in the planning chat, because that means that everyone can see his guess. Which you guys don't look at the Discord usually while we're doing that, but just write it down, put it on your phone, whatever you can. So I will give you guys the single clue for this one and bet how many points you want to bet for the answer on it, and we'll go from there. So, you guys ready?
Sure.
2012, sorry. 12 is what I tried to say. Here we go for the clue. This Dynasty simulator has no real win condition outside of what the player decides. As our good friend Pan, who's familiar with this game, many use the various amount of achievements to guide playthroughs, forging many funny and fantastical stories, such as prevailing through all of time after the Black Plague has infected the whole family, or a popular method is marrying a horse and making a kingdom of horses. So, at this point, write down your bet and your answers, and I will talk to the audience so we don't have dead silence. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, guys, and we'll go from there. So I have stopped entirely playing Monster Hunter at this point. I am not even doing any quests. This whole week I did not touch the game because I have just been not super excited about the end game, because not that the end game is terrible, just I don't really care for the monsters. So I have went back and started playing some other games, including I mentioned Shovel Knight. I'm finally playing the King of Cards campaign. I have finished all the other campaigns. Still playing Titan Quest, although I am in the final act of the second playthrough. So I will, for the first time in my ever of playing Titan Quest, will be starting in the legendary mode of the third playthrough, which I'll finally get to fight the Hydra, which is on the cover of the game after what it was 16 years ago now, or feels like, or something like that, maybe 2006. So yeah, because it's 2022. So yeah, I've been playing that game off and on since that year, and I've never fought this Hydra, and I'm finally on my way to doing it. I just got to finish this act, and I'm on the final island of the last chapter, so I will. And the cool thing about the Hydra is it's in Act 1, so it's not too far into the next playthrough. And then also, I've been playing Mass Effect, which we will get to talking about after this, because I have thoughts, many thoughts, and not all of them bad, but not all of them good.
The pen is running out of ink.
You only got to write down like
confident. You're writing a whole novel there.
You writing longer than the question?
It's because I don't have my other phone down here with me, so I had to find a quick pen and a notepad, but the pen has been down here for who knows how long.
The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue.
Alright, I am ready.
Alrighty. Yeah. Show us your guys' answers, and we'll see here. What? Okay, so 6 EVO The Search for Eden is not correct.
No.
So that puts Ace down to 0. Answer Crusader Kings is also not correct. Is down to
Wait, it says if you look super close, it really doesn't. It says Crusader Kings 2.
I mean, Crusader Kings 2 is the answer, but I'm pretty sure you wrote down Crusader Kings. So that puts you down to
for 3
7
points.
So, with the final totals of Ace at 0, you bet it all, and Sasha back down to 7. So yes, it was not a Nintendo game, but
like
it was
a floundering college student.
Yeah. So it was Crusader Kings 2, and famously Pan has played a lot of this game and told us many stories on this podcast about this game, including a really funny one about how her whole family died to the Black Plague, and like one lone son, like a cousin of someone in the dynasty, survived and still had the Black Plague, but survived long enough to produce an heir who didn't have it and continue on. So I was giving a little podcast history there as well, because Crusader Kings 2 is a complex game to sort of give it a clue, but that's what we rolled. So we are off to the PvE, and then we will talk about the question, the ones that we did not get to. So as we're going, okay, so Game B was not chosen. So 1986 Game B, originally dubbed Adventure Game, this game paved the way forward for many other games, inspiring many other genre, selling over 6.5 million copies, which was huge for 1986.
The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at me, knocking it out of the park.
You and your Zelda list.
I came prepared.
That is an interesting way to study. Study the ones you don't know. Like,
yep.
I'm going to start highlighting where. I think I should do this in the future. Highlighting where you guys got it, so it's easier for me to tell.
See, if I did that though, I'd have to like legitimately study and do like a mini paper on each game.
Yeah.
Especially for the older years.
Yep. So Game A for 1998 was not chosen. First clue, which is a short one, keep in mind, this cinematic platformer featured over an hour and a half of cutscenes.
Cinematic platformer.
Keep in mind, this is 1998. We're not talking like Metal Gear Solid Liberty, whatever it was that number 4 was.
That could be like...
Yeah, but I was thinking Metal Gear Solid because that is also 1998.
Sure, but I'm pretty sure it didn't have cutscenes.
It did. I loved watching my dad play Metal Gear Solid.
All right, fair enough. I mean, this is just the PvE portion. I'm not worried about giving away stuff as much.
Yeah.
Spyro?
Okay.
Spyro? No. Spyro had very little cutscenes.
I'm going to go with the second clue for me.
All right. Despite the friendly E rating, the shadow monsters would tear apart and otherwise violently kill the protagonist Andy in various detailed deaths. This may have gone under the fence due to the distinct lack of blood.
Grim Fandango?
Nope. Any guess for you on this one, Ace? On this clue?
Medieval?
Nope.
It's a good guess too.
It's a good guess, yeah. Both good guesses.
So I know they re-released that recently, and that seemed like that would be like a creepy game with the skeleton.
Yeah.
Skeleton guy as your main character.
Andy's greatest fear is darkness, and to save his dog, he flies his rocket ship straight into its heart. He must survive and find his dog in the dark and dangerous world. Sorry for the crunching on audio. I am disposing of my first of 2 water bottles. Because quiz shows I need 2 drinks because I talk so much.
I'm not sure about this. I have no idea.
Like I said, it's still not a perfect process. This is a game I know about. I've never played it, but
Mario Party. No.
Beautiful.
wow. Yeah,
Gotta be
Princess
it.
Peach getting dismembered by shadow monsters for rolling a 2. Yeah.
And that feels like that's what happens when you play Mario Party.
That is true. Or like when your friend steals your star, you're like, I will dismember you. You
Oh
son
my
of a
god.
bitch."
Did you ever, I assume you have because you watch Game Grumps, did you ever see the episode where they played with, episodes where they played with Super Mega and they stole
The one that
a
had
star from...
or he has this like long wail of a screech for like 3 minutes, it feels like. Is that the one you're talking
Well,
about?
it was like 5 seconds, but yeah.
It feels, that's what I said. It feels like 3 minutes. It's a very long screech. You're like, holy cow. Yeah. Yes, I've seen that one.
I imagine that'd be the scream as you're torn apart by the shadow creatures.
So any other guesses on this one?
I have no idea.
I have no clue.
It's a game called Heart of Darkness. It was a PlayStation game.
That makes sense.
Okay. So I'm also highlighting where we retroactively got the stuff, so I can see which questions we still need to read later on. All right. So game B for 2007 was not chosen. Clue 1: the original writer of the novels this game was based on was offered royalties, but he only accepted an upfront payment of approximately $9,500.
The Witcher.
Yep, The Witcher. Didn't even have to say Poland in there, and she got it.
I've read those books. They are really excellent. He is a snob, and he thought that video games weren't going to make any money.
I mean,
Yeah.
most adults are. Sasha, I'm going to...
Hello, I'm an adult, okay? I'm okay with video games.
Well, did you see my air quotes?
Yeah, I did.
Because a lot of adults, tend to turn their nose and look down upon video games and people who play them.
Oh, yeah. No, I see that on dating profiles all the time. If you're a gamer, swipe left. And I'm like, if you have
Sasha,
that...
in the planning chat, I shared the video. Be forewarned that your headphones may want to lower the volume.
Thanks for that heads up. I'll check it in a minute.
All right. So game B, as usual, was not chosen in 2012. So the first clue: when criticized for a lack of content in comparison to earlier games in the franchise, one of the lead developers cited YouTube as the cause, since people were going to watch the stories of the game instead of playing it, and decided to cut content as a result.
Kind of a fucking half-assed excuse is that.
It was a
I
pretty
feel like I know what this is.
It was a pretty controversial one at the time. That's for sure.
Which year is this again?
2012. What I call the year of the Wii U.
So it's a Wii U game. I'm just kidding.
No, I did not say that.
I think I might know, but I'm gonna wait for another clue.
I mean, there's no stakes on this one, so you can just say it. I generally allow you guys like a guess per clue on these ones.
Is this Halo 4?
What?
Halo 4?
Halo 4? No.
Okay.
I was thinking Mass Effect 3.
Nope. So, second clue. This reboot failed to keep the series alive for the combat car yet driven story simulator. Instead of having several characters to unlock and many stories to complete, only 4 characters had stories out of the 6.
Combat car.
Combat car? Like an
That is-
actual car?
Yeah, combat car.
Is this a Need for Speed game?
It is not Need for Speed. Thank you for your guess.
Okay.
Twisted Metal Black.
It's not Twisted Metal Black.
Or just Twisted Metal? I don't
Yeah,
know. It sounds like a Twisted Metal game.
It is Twisted.
Yeah.
It is Twisted Metal. There was a Twisted Metal reboot in 2012 that bombed.
Yeah, that would explain why the last Twisted Metal game that I can remember is Twisted Metal Black.
Right. So, yeah. So you guys got it on 2 for that one. So we're looking at 3 points on that one. I haven't been. We got no points on that one. 3 points on that one. Right? Yeah. What was the 98 one? Yeah, we got it. So the next was 2012. 2 points on that one. So you guys are at 7 so far going into the last year. 2019.
It's not a good year for me, though.
Okay. And all right, so game B. Although you say it's not a good year for you, but both of you got 3 points on your
That was just straight luck.
All right.
That it was the only game.
However, I'm going to take a wild guess. Neither of you are going to get any points on this one, I believe. Like this was a game. This was like I don't feel like you guys are going to know this one. But anyways, we'll start it.
But wait. Is that a clue? Is this a game you've played? Because then I'm going to think about games you've talked about.
I am not going to say either here or there before the points are.
So
wait. Let me try to guess. Let me try to guess before you give us a clue. Just based off that.
Sure.
Okay? Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
No.
Dang.
I have played that. You're right. All right. And that would be that year. Yeah. Okay, so director bear with me, people. This is Japanese names. I am going to try my best.
All right, it's a good clue.
All right. Director Takahisa Tora, known for the Nier Automata series or Nier Automata game, and with supervision from Hideki Kamiya, known for Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, as well as the popular manga artist Masakusa Katsura, made an all-star team for this spectacle fighter.
Sekiro.
No, Sekiro is a From Software game.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. You're just saying Japanese words.
They're names, but yeah. I don't blame you. Any guess, or do you want me to do the second clue, Ace?
think I'll do second clue.
Okay. Cyberpunk inspirations from anime and manga led to Platinum Games releasing this Nintendo Switch exclusive.
It's all you, Ace.
I'm going to give you some leeway on the Nintendo stuff, but hey, you have a Switch now. I know you do. So.
Yes, I do.
But I did say I know you guys wouldn't know this game. I don't know. I suspect, I should say.
I think you know.
My question was of whether Ace played it or not. Because
Can I go to the store and look at games quick?
No. Either take a guess or let us go to the next clue. It's like this is the no stakes part. Don't worry about it.
Next clue?
All right. Playing a pair of twins in the Special Police Task Force, you were tasked. Not really good question writing there. With the safety of the city, using your unique powers to chain demon-like creatures and bend them to your will. There was like a smudge on the screen that messed up with that word.
I got nothing.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything either.
Okay. I will say this. I have not played this game, but a lot of my friends have played it, including Chauncey has played this game. It is Astral Chain.
Cool.
That is certainly a game.
It is a game.
Okay.
That came out in 2019.
I understand Sasha not knowing about this game. Ace, you didn't hear about this game?
Let me look it up quick.
Yeah, it's literally like a twin brother and sister who are like in police uniforms chaining demons and making them fight for them. Like it's a very out there anime game that was like a pretty high profile release on the Switch. It got like a couple directs and everything. Not like directs for itself, but it was in a couple directs, which we watch. But that leaves you guys at 7 points, working together. So you tied yourself, Sasha.
No.
Or you didn't tie. You tied your final score, but your pre-Jeopardy score, you'd be 3 behind. Yeah, you don't know it, Ace, at all?
No.
Okay. I never played it. I know Chauncey did. I know my good friend Brian did. And that's it. And I think Jacob did as well. So we're going to do the clues that we did not hear. So we just had this game in the team up round for Legend of Zelda. The second clue, made along the same time as Super Mario Bros. Developer Shigeru Miyamoto and Takahashi Tezuka managed to release this new adventure game only a year after the smash hit of Super Mario Brothers. So essentially, it only took them a year after Mario, even though they started at the same time. And then the third clue is, in Link's first adventure, he must obtain the Triforce in this top-down action adventure. And if you don't get it from that one, I don't know how to help you. The next clue that we need to hear is from Fallout 2. Sasha got it on the second clue. The third clue is the story takes place 80 years after the previous game and 164 after the initial nuclear disaster, making it 2241. You play as the Chosen One attempting to save his dying village of the Vault 13 survivors with just a water can and his trusty Pip-Boy 2000.
Very nice.
Another one from the team up. The Witcher was called on clue number 1. Clue number 2. The game became such a huge hit in Poland, skyrocketing CD Projekt Red in popularity and allowing them to create 2 sequels and launch a PC gaming platform akin to Steam. So, again, this is a very easy one to get because The Witcher is so popular. But the third one was Geralt of Rivia, originally perished at the end of the books. The games retconned this and set themselves after the events of the books, continuing the gruff monster slayer's story for the whole world.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty.
And I guarantee you, if it hadn't been for CD Projekt Red, that series wouldn't have existed. That Netflix series, like it. Not that the books weren't popular, but the games really put them in the front spotlight.
For sure. The books are so good, though. I think they're better than Game of Thrones.
I have never listened or read to Game of Thrones, but I have Sword of Destiny, that I think is the second collection. I have listened to that one, and I did quite enjoy it. And that has a lot of the Netflix episodes in it, like specifically the one with the dragon.
Yep.
All right. So our next one that has clues remaining is Zombie U. Ace got this on the second clue. The third clue is famously a Wii U launch title from Ubisoft featuring the gamepad as a backpack or another second screen option such as keypads, while the TV showed various zombies ambling your way, creating tension and a sense of urgency to complete tasks quickly. So you were kind of locked into an animation if you were messing with your gamepad of like rummaging around in your backpack or typing in a key where you couldn't attack. You had to actually stop doing it, turn around, and shoot a zombie if it was coming towards you.
Yeah, they also have an interesting multiplayer mode where person playing just like with the controller on the console is like the first person
shooter,
and then first person shooter, and then the person with the gamepad is like
playing an
overseer
RTS
of like a game.
Yeah, they're playing an RTS
of
spawning zombies against the first person shooter. It's actually a really cool, fun idea. There was only 2-player, which is stupid and ridiculous, but if that had been 4-player, I think that would have been a much better. And if they had put a lot of effort into that and made it a whole game, that right there is what sold me on Evolve, is that Zombie U multiplayer concept. And then Evolve was crappy because asynchronous multiplayer gameplay was like a big thing for the Wii U that it didn't capitalize on, and I was super in on, and they just didn't do it. They just
they screwed the pooch.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one, Twisted Metal, which we got in the team up round. Third clue: Roadkill, Outlaw, Vermin, Warthog, Juggernaut, Darkside, Shadow, Kamikaze, Talon, Meatwagon, and Sweet Tooth were among the selectable vehicles. Just listing the name of the Twisted Metal vehicles. Not all.
I can see why people were upset about that, because there's a lot of fan favorites missing from that list.
Oh, I didn't select all the vehicles, but there were only 6 characters.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
So there was vehicles that didn't have their characters. Is some of it too, because Sweet Tooth, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Sweet Tooth's a selectable character. I don't think the clown himself is selectable.
Isn't that like the mascot of the series?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But he's more like a villain in the series.
But he's still playable though, and
I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this because I had to do research on it because I'm not familiar with the Twisted Metal stuff as much. I mean, I played them, but I never owned them. So I could be wrong on that part, but there definitely are a lot more vehicles than there are characters, and some of those vehicles I do recognize did have characters that just didn't show up. I also find it odd because I always thought that the character and the vehicle were intertwined too in the other games. Like this.
Yeah. That'd be like having a Supernatural game without having the Winchester brothers in the Impala. Or
I
like
feel like they
Scooby
are
Doo
though.
without the Scooby Gang and the Mystery Machine.
From everything I remember, the car,
And the
the
character were
character,
separate.
yeah, the character
I
is in there because there were only a few cars that because remember when games came with a little booklet and it had
yeah
like little information. So there were only a few characters that their real name was unknown.
yeah
Like Mr. Grimm, it would say like unknown in their age, unknown, but most of them were recognizable names paired with their car.
yeah yeah. This one only had 6 characters and only had 4 stories. So
Bummer.
all right. So the next one that we got to hear clues from is Assassin's Creed 3, which Sasha got on clue 1. Second clue, another oddity is this is one of the handful of games to ever use a Native American tribesman as a protagonist, especially from an eastern tribe of a tribe east of the Mississippi. So, ta-da! I can't think of any other game that uses any tribe east of the Mississippi. Period. Everything is Western tribes. So that was like a me clue kind of thing because it was unique for that. And then the third clue for Assassin's Creed 3 is the third number title in the series depicting the War of the Assassins versus the Templars ended up changing a lot of things, such as dual wielding for the first time and the use of tree hopping instead of the usual buildings in megacities with every other previous game. So roof hopping. It was pretty much exclusive. You couldn't I think if you hit a tree on the other ones, you would just fall. So the fact that you could, jump on trees was a kind of a thing people talked about. Because if you're in the American frontier, what are you gonna jump on? So.
Oh, not just jump on trees. You could hang people from trees too.
True. Yeah. All right. Death Stranding was got on clue 1 by Ace. So, second clue, everything about the game heading up to release was hyped, even with the arguably weird marketing depicting black tar infecting people and a baby in an orange liquid being carried around.
Baby fetus Norman Reedus.
Yep.
Or Norman Reedus and the funky fetus.
Yeah. And then the third clue was with Hideo Kojima behind the project enlisting Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro, it seemed the crushing cancellation of the Silent Hill after the thrilling playable trailer was far behind when this game won many awards and made incredible sales. So
yeah, and it's also got like Mads Mikkelsen in it too.
Yeah, some other people.
I've yet to play it. It's in my backlog.
I have no intention of playing it. Honestly, I'm just not into Hideo Kojima stuff most of the time anyway. So,
although they did have a really cool exclusive version of the PS4 Pro that came from it too. The white one with like the black tar handprints on it.
Yeah. So, the next game that we didn't hear clues from was The Outer Worlds, which Sasha got on the first one. So the next 2 clues for that are the satirical sci-fi Western FPS RPG garnered a lot of hype with the propaganda-like advertising campaign for corporate sponsored space exploration.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that was one of the things that Angry Joe touched on in his review of it.
Mm-hmm.
Was that you take on corporate, because like one of his whole reoccurring bits is corporate with Cobra Commander being like representing all the big companies just being greedy and going for money.
Yep.
And then he talks about how you can kill corporate commander.
Yeah, essentially.
In the game too.
Yep.
So he was a big fan of the game when it came out.
Oh yeah.
And one of the reasons why I picked it up too. So
I played it. It's about halfway through. It's just I'm not into the Fallout formula. I survived long enough in that game.
Oh, that's watered down Fallout.
I know, and even then, I still didn't.
He both because of that character joke aspect, and then because he said to pick it up in place of like Fallout 76.
Yeah, fair.
Because at the time I was interested in Fallout 76, and then because I had only ever played like an hour or two of Fallout 4, and then I fell off of that, and then I was interested in giving it another chance because, you know, all of Bethesda's advertisements at the time were like, "This is gonna be fucking epic," and then everything with it happened.
Yeah. The last clue in that for Outer Worlds was many call it Fallout in space. Obsidian Entertainment had enough success with it selling over 2.5 million copies, and with a sequel under development as announced by Bethesda and Microsoft last year. So, there we go. So, the games that were not picked and chosen and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go down the list. If you hear one that we did, obviously it was picked. So these are in order of 1 to 10. And of course, if I rolled it, here it was. But I will point out the ones that I rolled and I skipped because they were not in that year. So 1986, Bubble Bobble, The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, Metroid, Might and Magic Book 1, Adventure Island, which is a red one, Kid Icarus, which is a red one, Castlevania. Now, the reason why I called it a red one is I don't really like using Japanese titles release dates in the exclusion of it only released in Japan. So Kid Icarus was actually the next year in America and was 1986 in Japan. So my initial search was it's correct that it released that year, but I don't like giving us dates that could confuse us because we are North American players. So I try not to do that. So Castlevania was next, Wonder Boy, and then Alex Kidd in a Miracle World. To be honest, I don't see us. I think I am probably going to back off of doing the 80s so much. I think we've exhausted all the interesting games in the 80s at this point. I'm not kidding. Like, Metroid, we didn't get, but like, Metroid and Bubble Bobble would be the two from this year that I could see us doing left. And that's it. Like, and that's just my knowledge of Bubble Bobble. I bet you guys haven't played Bubble Bobble.
Never even heard of it before.
So remember when I did that like weird dragon mashup with Mitsune, that art piece, Ace?
Mm-hmm.
That's Bubble Bobble. They're known for the Bust a Move and that kind of stuff.
Well, I played Bust a Move, but
yeah, Bust a Move is the sort of puzzle version of the original Bubble Bobble game, the Taito game. Same Bubble Dragons in Bust a Move.
Say so.
I mean, I did play those. All right, so 1998, Resident Evil 2, Gex Enter the Gecko, StarCraft, Crash Bandicoot 3, Heart of Darkness, Pokemon Stadium, which is red listed because Pokemon Stadium actually came out the next year. Don't know why it appeared on my list because it's not even. I think it's a Japanese release deal again. Spyro Enter the Dragon, Pokemon Yellow, also another red listed game. Don't know how I messed that one up. Fallout 2 and Oddworld Abe's Exodus. 2007, Lost Planet Extreme Condition, Monster Hunter Freedom 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, The Orange Box, Hellgate London, The Witcher, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Metroid Prime 3, Manhunt 2, and Portal. 2012, you're going to hear the bonus question, the Jeopardy question in this one as well. Soul Calibur 5, Crusader Kings 2, Twisted Metal, Mass Effect 3, Zombie U, Assassin's Creed 3, Hotline Miami, Resident Evil 6, Torchlight 2, and Dishonored. And then,
busy year.
yeah. Then 2019, Slay the Spire, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I think is a notable enough release, even though we actually have Resident Evil 2 as a possible 1998. Apex Legends, Katana Zero, A Plague Tale Innocence, Astral Chain, The Outer Worlds, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Death Stranding. And just for reference, we have retired games in these years, so Tenchu, Stealth Assassins, Banjo-Kazooie, Tomb Raider 3, God of War 2, Bioshock, Assassin's Creed 1, Borderlands 2, Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning, Diablo 3, Kingdom Hearts 3, MK11, and Iceborne are retired games that we've already done. So that is Quiz 10. Sasha, you have taken the belt back again. It's been a little more back and forth this time. So we'll see how Morg fares in 11, if he can take his first one. Or Sasha can keep it, or Ace can grab it back once again. So how do we feel this one went, guys? I feel like the games are a little more obscure this time, personally, just based on the roles. So you guys had a couple of, like, really good hits, but we went through a lot of the questions on these ones. Crash and
I think
burn.
it was just good years for me. A couple of peak gaming years.
Sure. Sure. How do we feel about dropping the 80s? Because I feel like it was a good experiment, but I feel like those are pretty rough.
I don't mind the 80s questions, but I do agree. I think we're going to get to a point where, like, the big IPs are going to drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be like, hey, what was this weird Might and Magic Book 2? Might and Magic Book 3? Like, I'm aware of those games. My dad played them. I do not. I own them, but I do not play them. I would not recommend anyone playing them. Like, not that they're terrible games. They are just not good for this time. Like, they are a chore to play.
Same with that drop off could be said about my brain activity for the more questions in the 80s we get.
Sure.
Like with Dan's dad, when it comes to English, my brain will go, bye.
Yeah. So this next one we'll think about not doing some 80s ones. Just we might pepper it in here and there, but like anytime we do one of these lately, I've been like, I look at the 80s and I'm like, what can I even pick? I'm looking for games that I could remotely recognize myself. Like, I'll get a few here and there, like Bubble Bobble and that kind of stuff, and of course Mario, Zelda, that kind of stuff. But like, ugh. Okay.
Pong. Checkers.
So as I promised Sasha, I started playing Mass Effect, and I currently, I believe, am 12 hours in to my first playthrough.
12 hours in. Okay. Have you made it off the Citadel?
Yes.
And have you started gathering? Did you go to get Liara?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
I will be back.
Okay.
Are you playing Paragon or Renegade right now?
I am not really trying to do one or the other. I'm just sort of like picking what I feel is right.
Oh,
but,
no.
But it has been Paragon almost every time. So I am already
Good.
tier 2 Paragon, I think. Like, I'm already in the second.
You want to make sure you commit to one, just so that if there are certain points in the game, there are decisions that you can only make if you've committed fully to one or the other.
Sure. I mean, I've already had to do some decisions that were Paragon. For instance, I was on an asteroid that was being projected towards one of the early Earth colonies. And
so I think you did the DLC. Did you bring me this guy?
I have them all because it's part of the.
Were they Batarians? The guys with all the eyes?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you did a DLC real early.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could. I didn't know it was a DLC.
Yeah, it's just like a mission that you pick up. But
So yeah, I did that, and that had a Paragon option to essentially convince the second in command to betray the first in command, which doesn't feel very Paragon, but you basically let him go. Um, and I chose to save the hostages rather than kill them to get at the guy, even though I promised the dude that I would kill him. The second in command, I would kill the first in command. It's very weird. So I've been doing that. So I've done that. I have saved the colonists that had a brain bug thing, like some sort of mind control.
oh, you did the Thorian mission too?
Yes. So
Okay, you're
that was
flying. You're flying through.
that was the first mission I did off the Citadel. That was a main mission. So
Interesting. So the way I always play is I immediately go get Liara.
yeah,
And then
I thought it was weird because I thought I might have missed her because you get everyone else before you get Liara, right?
yeah.
And they're all on the Citadel. And I was like, I got everyone else. I think I did everything. And it's like, why don't I have the blue hair girl? Like the blue tentacle girl? Like, where is she? Sorry?
So in the
Sorry?
yes. Yep, sorry. In the original version of the game, before remastered, one of the achievements, well, a bunch of the achievements were set that you had to complete like a percentage of the game with specific party members. And this meant like actual quest completion turn in point.
Yeah.
To get the Liara one was challenged because you had to leave the Citadel immediately. You couldn't do any of the side missions. You had to leave the Citadel immediately and go get Liara.
Oh, okay.
And then come back and do what you needed to do at the Citadel. So you'd pick up Talizora, then leave the Citadel, go get Liara, come back, or you couldn't get the Liara achievement, which was super annoying. But it changed the way that I played the game forever after that.
Got ya.
Always just go get her.
Yeah, I mean, back when I used to still enjoy playing the original Final Fantasy VII, there is an opportunity. It's a small opportunity, but there's an opportunity to get Vincent in disc 1 of it out of the 3 discs when you would normally be in that area in disc 2. So I would go like immediately as soon as you can go pick up Vincent because Vincent was one of my main characters. So I would have Cloud, Nanaki, which is Red 13, and Vincent as my go-to party in Final Fantasy VII. So I get that, like immediately, like going after a character because you can. But I don't know. I'm going into this largely blind, so I'm just sort of going by the seat of my pants on this stuff. I did a custom character because they try to make you be a soldier with a certain background and a certain thing in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I always make a custom character too.
I just didn't know if that was like a thing with the remake, that they're like, this is our suggested thing for Shepard, or
they have a pre-made kind of look for both male and female Shepard, and then there's generally 3
I kept
like
the pre-made
backgrounds.
look. Yeah.
And then they have 3 kind of backgrounds. Like I think it's like the Soul Survivor, which is honestly the one I usually pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they have like space colonist and soldier background.
I did colonist. I was a colonist, and then also I did war hero for the other one.
Yeah, only thing it really does is there's just a couple of different dialogue variations, but no real change in the outcome.
No, and I understood that pretty soon because like the opening scene, it was like, oh, we'll use Shepard. You know, he did so well at such and such area. You know, he led that. And I was like, I can imagine they just replaced that line of dialogue with, he survived this, if I was the sole
Oh,
survivor.
you're unhinged. They think you're unhinged when you're the sole survivor, because I get the feeling. I know you guys aren't into Game of Thrones, but there's this whole thing in Game of Thrones about why Stannis Baratheon, how they survived being held up in a castle for like months without any rations. They ate like the leather of their boots and things like that.
Yeah.
So, your sole survivor story. Me?
No.
The show definitely didn't touch on that.
The show did.
So he, your sole survivor background, you made some. I think you essentially like sacrificed some of your team to survive, and it was a ruthless decision.
Gotcha.
So people think you're unhinged.
So that's the renegade.
The obvious
option.
Renegade choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a fairly nice guy, and just by talking to Ashley enough, Ashley's like been like, so what are we gonna do after this whole thing's over? And I'm like, I was unaware I was picking these dialogue options, Ashley. Please.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, Ashley did not age well, because I remember not really liking Ashley as a party member way back when I played this again. But then when I played remastered again, I'm like, you're a MAGA person. You are.
Yeah, she's a superhuman nationalist. I was like, whoa.
Yes.
All of my dialogue options have been like, we should work together. They are allies. They are not enemies.
I'm like, girlfriend, let me tell you where I'm going to leave your ass on Vermeer is what's going to happen.
So, like, but she's been like, for some reason, like, I feel like I've accidentally stumbled into, like, the relationship portion of her dialogue, and I'm like, I'm not sure I want to be here. But I'm not, like...
Yeah.
Like that one's been a bit weird. I've been talking a lot... I try to talk to a lot of the crew in general, except for the guy who's the psychic. Caden. I don't care about him. He's just not interesting to me. I talked to him once outside of a mission. That was it. And I was like, no, I'm cool. I don't need to know more about you. Like,
so my most recent run, I romanced him, but I also left him on the planet to die. So I never completed the romance.
Oh, okay.
Which is the first time I've ever done that. Never had like a full romance in a Mass Effect game.
I don't know. I don't like. People have been like, "Hey, you're talking to Tali a lot," and I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So
well, Tali's not an option in Mass Effect 1.
Oh, okay.
You only get a choice between Ashley and Liara, and as soon as you start even just talking to Liara, and not even romance talking to Liara, Ashley's gonna get all cross-eyed about it.
Yeah, I did talk to Liara already.
Yeah.
But I've been talking a lot to Tali because I find Tali interesting. And
now she is an option in 2.
Gotcha. I find Tali very interesting, like her culture and her people and stuff. The very nomadic stuff.
You're gonna love 2.
Okay. I'm not there yet. So actually, I picked up a couple other games. They're sort of outside of my wheelhouse. But they're games that I've heard of. There was like a Switch collection. It had Rhapsody, which is a JRPG, and something else, which is like a strategy RPG. They're both very anime Japanese, but I've always heard they're good. So I picked up that collection. So I'm going to play Mass Effect 1, put one of those games between 1 and 2, play 2, and then play the other one between 2 and 3. Because I don't want to burn out on Mass Effect playing between them.
Mass Effect 2 is a masterpiece.
But Mass Effect 2 is also the one I tried to pick up and play twice, and I just couldn't get into it. I am actually very interested and very invested in 1.
But see now, if you play 1 and you get invested in all the characters, like think about that the first mission that's not the tutorial in Mass Effect 2. You meet up with Talizora. Now you know why that hits. Now you know why that's an important scene.
I didn't get that far.
She's so offended. She's so offended that you're with Cerberus. Oh. It's so good.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but I didn't even get that far originally. I'm just now getting a notifications from stuff that I talked about hours ago. Okay. Oh, anyways. So, so I, I have done the asteroid. I did the Thorian. So the first thing I did is Thorian. Then I got.
What did you do with the Thorian? What was your choice?
There was a choice.
Yeah.
Can you remind me of the choice?
There was several choices. So the first choice that you have is.
I mean, obviously, I made a decision, but I don't remember. Like, I didn't feel it was significant. I guess that's why I don't remember it.
So the first was to use the concussive bullets and not kill the colonists. You could kill the colonists, or you could save the colonists.
I chose to not kill the colonists. However, some of them died. Some of them still died because I did not have enough grenades to do it. So the other,
see, I always go there later, so I have more health, and I just rush through.
I didn't. I'm very much so. My class is not a soldier. I'm an infiltrator, and I focus entirely.
Of course, that's how I play too.
I have focused entirely on snipers, though. I don't use any other weapons. So like when I'm put in a situation where I have to deal with because I full clear, like I full clear an area, then I go in, and when it's like there's a bunch of people firing, and I'm like, well, I've neutralized as many as I can. I guess I snipe the rest.
Tactical cloak.
Yeah, that's
tactical cloak.
Oh, I didn't. I don't.
I let them knock out my party members and I tactical cloak and run through it.
I don't use the abilities that
but
often.
Anyway, so the second choice you have is if you spare or kill the Asari that was seated inside of the Thorian.
I was unaware if that was a choice because he just fucking murdered her.
Whoa. Oh, no, I save her.
I don't like so the option that there was 3 options. I remember the just before we killed her. I picked the middle, and I thought the middle was like the most like easy going, right? And it was not. It just didn't cold. Like, what are we gonna do with her? So I always have Garrus. I had Garrus and Rex with me on that mission.
Oh yeah, they're both gonna tell you to kill her.
Yeah, so like I was like, so like this, and then he just like, kapow! Like Sopranos fade to black after killing her. I was just like, okay, not what I was expecting.
So when you save her, there's like little bonuses.
The real one. The real one I did save.
Yes, the real one. That's the one.
Okay.
So she'll be like a nice like little Easter egg in 2 and in 3 then.
Okay. Cool.
So have you gone to Noveria yet?
Which one is Noveria?
The snow planet.
No.
Oh.
That I believe is my next
I'm gonna
mission.
tell you that is, in my opinion, it is the most difficult of the story arcs, like the little chapters in Mass Effect 3. Because the boss fight is tough. But I'm gonna tell you this: take Liara when you go, and you get the full. You will get all of the story when you take Liara.
Okay.
If you don't take Liara, she will be very disappointed in you.
Okay. So I'll probably switch my crew up to be Tali and Liara then. Because I like Garrus. Garrus, I think, is...
You might want to take Garrus with you.
Okay.
There's going to be some Geth. You're going to fight Geth on that planet.
I am 100% okay with Geth. I can
I know, but I'm going to tell you that Liara is a Glassjaw. You have Liara as a Glassjaw. You as an infiltrator are also a Glassjaw. You need to take some muscle with you. Whether that's Rex or Garrus. Trust me on this. But because it's Geth, I would recommend Garrus because he's got tech.
Yeah, he does. He's also got all the first aid maxed out for me. Like, I'm level 20 something right now too. Like, I'm
It caps at 60.
Okay. 60. I thought it was 30, but okay.
I have never. Oh well, you're playing the remastered, so they rescale it to 30. You can play classic mode, and that's
I'm not
scales at
playing
60.
classic mode because it gave me an option, and I was like, I guess I go with the remaster mode. They did it for a reason, I suppose.
Mass Effect 2 and 3 have the same level system, so they did it kind of like that.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, because I noticed I'm starting getting less points now. Because used to start with like 6, then it went down to 4, now it's down to 2.
Yep. Well, that's because the game is trying to scale to the original level 60 that you could go up to.
Gotcha.
But that was because you could New Game Plus it. I've never gotten to level 60 in one run through.
Gaia. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of like the thing I didn't expect to like was the exploration part, just going to the planets, surveying things, going there.
Have you found a Thresher Maw yet?
The very first planet that I explored had one. Like the first one.
They're so much fun. You just know, like, you see a big open flat land. I'm like, I'm not driving through that. I'm not.
Oh, I drive towards it now. I'm like, I am doing this because I've come up with a system to get them. Like, I
don't ever stop moving.
Actually, one of the situations when they shoot, I do. So like, for me, it's avoiding their spit. Right, that's the biggest challenge for me.
I just drive in circles.
They tend to hit me when I do that. So what I do when they spit, I'll actually stop, turn towards the camera, and go the other way, and then cycle back. And then there's a couple times I've drove towards it, which I know is a bad idea because its melee attack. I've realized its melee attack is bad.
One shot.
Yeah.
Unless you have good tech, which because you're playing infiltrator class.
My tech is
going to have more shields.
My tech is maxed, and I normally have Garrus with me, so I have like a bunch of tech.
So your Mako lasts.
Yep. So I've killed about 4 of those now.
That was one of the major improvements in Remastered, the Mako controls, because they were broken in the original version.
Oh, I can't imagine that being good in the original because they're not great. And you gotta do a lot of like the asteroid one I just did. I did a lot of driving looking for some dead colonists, like a lot, because they really hide them. I will say I'm not a big fan of sort of like the armor and weapon system.
It's just a lot of trash.
Yeah, it's just a lot of garbage, and I keep a lot of it because like I don't use some certain members, and I've learned my lesson. I don't like not gear up people I'm not using because
oh no, you have to.
I've learned my lesson from other games, namely not Octopath Traveler, the other one, Triangle Strategy.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So Ace, what have you been playing?
As mentioned earlier, I've been replaying through Breath of the Wild lately on Wii U, so I'm going through the Trials and Tribulations again.
Okay. Is that it?
I've been doing a lot of like passive Minecraft stuff too.
Boy. See, Emery and I built a giant treehouse today in Minecraft. We did creative mode. She likes creative mode. But then I decided that I was going to make a hot tub. And I did it with... so we have a hot tub on the roof because my family has a hot tub. And I've lived here for almost 4 years now. Never been in it because I don't like hot tubs that much. But they have one out back. And so we made a hot tub because Emery likes them. And it's just in the ceiling. And the ceiling is glass so you can look up into the hot tub. So I made this like I don't know, try to make this classy tree house for Emery. And she unfortunately ruined it by making a bunch of things pink and blue wool. started destroying the wood walls to making them pink and blue. I was like, okay, I guess it just looks like cotton candy now. But we spent a good 2 hours building a tree house in Minecraft today.
Yeah, I've been exploring my world because I decided to go venture out my main little area, and I have another Ender portal up. I still don't understand how the Nether realm works now.
Oh, I
It's
don't.
still a mystery to me because it's like I'm always spawning at like a really elevated point
Mhm.
of just like fields of lava, and then there's just constantly like the pig mobs, the pig people mobs, not the zombies that just ignore you. Just the endless amounts of pig people mobs that just spawn in and attack me all the fucking time. So I just don't want to spend any time there,
I
really.
don't.
So I haven't gotten that far just because I'm constantly getting attacked. Like I'll
I
just be mining some resources from the Nether, and then just randomly I'll start getting attacked. And usually it's like by crossbow ones that are up in like trees and stuff like that. And I'm like, go away! I'm trying to do shit. I'm trying to figure this out.
yeah. Yeah, I don't play at all if it isn't with the girls. Like I actively tell the girls, and I am not shy about it with the girls. I do not like this game. I do not like playing this game unless it's with you, and only in certain situations. We are not doing like if we're doing the Ender Dragon, it's going to be in creative mode because I don't care to do that much effort. Like Emery just makes her own Ender portals in creative mode and goes and kills her Ender Dragon, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm going to build a house now." Like she loves it. So I was switching gears while you were gone, Sasha. So I'm not a big fan of the armor and the weapon systems. Not a really big fan of the upgrade stuff.
It improves in 2 and 3. They get rid of a lot of that trash management.
Yeah. Dialogue stuff is actually pretty good. I feel like I have not gotten an instance aside for the one time. So I don't know who he shot in that cutscene that felt so out of character to me. I don't know who it was or what it was because obviously it wasn't the Asari that I saved because she's there. I really don't like how vague sometimes the quest systems are, and I'm trying to figure out like it's like I there's a part on that planet where you do save them for the Thorian, and I turned on a bunch of water valves, and it's like, hey, someone might want to know about this, and I'm like, who the hell wants to know about this? I've talked to everyone there. There's like nothing. So I was talking to my friend Brian about it. He's like, oh, you just got to go there later, and I'm like, then why tell me about it now?
No, they tell you about it because there are people you can talk to that will give you little missions. But if you don't pick the mission up and you start interacting with the stuff, it's hinting to you that that is associated with a mission. So it's just like giving you the heads up that you started a mission.
There's no one there for me to like. The only mission that I got in that whole area was to find some power converters or something like that.
There's 2 or 3 different people in the first like home base that will give you missions. I think there's like the doctor, there's an engineer, and then there's the woman who's standing in the front, like the security, like leader of the security team.
Yeah.
Who will give you a mission.
One of the guys has an exclamation mark. He won't talk to me. He's like, she's gone. She's dead. I don't want to talk right now. I'm like, who? Who's dead? I don't. What?
His daughter, who's at the second base.
Oh.
That you drive the Mako up the bridge.
Okay, but a lot of people from the second base are at the first base now.
Maybe your game glitched because you didn't talk to people in the right order.
I guess.
Ooh, you broke
Because you
it.
talk to the first guy and he tells you that his daughter was working at the other building and that they
I
can't get a
did.
hold of anybody at the other building.
I
Yeah.
did.
Then when you go there, you do meet his daughter.
I saved her. Yeah.
Yep. Then when you go back, it should resolve then when you talk to him. But if he won't talk to you, it sounds like a glitch.
Yeah, he there's a couple things that I'm just like, I don't know what I need to do. So I'm not going to be doing every mission because I don't feel like sitting there figuring it out. So like if I went back to that planet twice already when I've gone and done other things, and I'm like, "Hey, does anyone want to talk to me about these water valves that I did?" Like, anyone? No? Okay. Bye. Like
I wonder if one of the colonists that died, because you said some of them died, even though you did concussive
Half.
grenades. I wonder if one of the ones that died was the one you turned the water valves into.
That could be it too. Half of them died. I got an equal amount of Paragon and Renegade points in that one.
Oh, well, then that's what's going on too. Is then your other guy too? Why he won't talk to you? Somebody else died there.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not gonna get downed from you jerks shooting me. Like I'm not like I'm here to do a mission. Like so I got half and half. I think I plus 16 on both. And that's the only Renegade points I have is that.
My run through that I deliberately played as Renegade, I still finished the game with almost. I had full Renegade and like 75% Paragon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Paragon's the way that they expect people to play. That's for sure.
It's so much more fun to play as Renegade.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna meet some insufferable people, and it gives you in 2 and 3. It's like a trigger option in the middle of the cutscene, and you can Paragon or Renegade and change the flow of the cutscene. And the Renegade options are delicious. They're awesome.
If I do a second playthrough, if I end up liking them enough to do that at some point, I'll probably do Renegade.
Do them anyway. Do them anyway because it's not a choice like of Paragon or Renegade. It'll just be you have an option right now to make a Renegade choice.
Okay, instead of
instead of just watching the cutscene as is, you can make a Renegade choice or you can make a Paragon choice.
Oh, I'd probably do a Paragon choice if I.
No, but it's not like the only choice is to act or not act.
Sure.
It's not like right now you can choose Paragon or Renegade. It's just right now. Would you like to punch this person in the face who's talking to you like this, or do you want to continue to let him talk to you like that?
I have been rough with people in the game sometimes when they are out of line, so I get it. Yeah, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. It's not an either or, it's just do or don't.
Yep.
Okay.
It's do every time. Do.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably end up doing it, but I'm not there yet because I got to finish this, and then I got to finish. I'm going to want to finish another game before I hop into 2. So, otherwise, it's been fairly good. Like I haven't put a lot of time into it. I've mostly still been focusing on Titan Quest because I am really coming close to getting where I want to in that game, and I'm probably, if I'm not done in 2 weeks, I've probably stopped playing it and forgot again. Like I really am pushing close to the finally after 16 years finishing a full playthrough of a character. So I'll do it. I think I can do it because I actually have a good character for once too, because sometimes I make bad choices on character development, and this one is actually surviving things which most of my other characters don't. So that's the big point, I guess, that I'm at. And I've actually got good gear too. Although I have a spear, which is my weapon that has lasted me since the end of the first playthrough, and I'm at the end of the second playthrough using that same spear. So I kind of want an upgrade, but it is a purple, which is the best rarity. So there's that. So next week we have another news week. I haven't been keeping too up to date with the news. The only news I've been paying attention to was the whole student debt relief stuff. And I'm not even really close to paying attention on that one too much. All I know is, hey, I'm possibly getting money off my education loans. That's it.
The Microsoft Activision deal may be in jeopardy.
That's what we talked
No.
about last time. Like, they're still fighting for it to not be counted as a monopoly. Yeah.
Well, I believe it was the EU is now stepping in and yep.
How could the EU step in?
Hold on.
I don't know if they should be, because this is an American company acquiring an American company. Like, why would the EU step in?
Because it's going to affect
It
game
is.
sales in their countries too.
No,
So-
it certainly will, but I don't know if they have the jurisdiction or authority to do so. They can certainly make suggestions, but I don't think they have any real power in the situation.
I mean,
You're gonna,
they
you're
could
gonna have
place
fun editing because
restrictions.
there's gonna be a lot of barks on my end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear that right now.
No, not. I don't hear.
Uh,
I heard something, but
setback for Microsoft's $59 billion plan to buy video game company Activision Blizzard. British regulators demand the two companies come up with concessions to ease competition concerns about the blockbuster deal.
yeah, I think they can make suggestions and scream and cry, but I don't know if they can do any sort of like stopping of the deal if they don't like it.
The Competition and Markets Authority said the deal could restrict competitors' access to Activision Blizzard games and limit competition in the emerging cloud gaming market. Which, I mean, from Microsoft's own statements, it doesn't seem like they're going for exclusivity, so I don't know if that's
No,
necessarily valid.
they aren't. They have said several times that they are not going to keep things like Call of Duty or Diablo exclusive.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna mute.
The last time I heard anything was today. There's a news thing I watched today about Game Pass is possible. If the deal goes through, Game Pass will probably be putting a lot of Blizzard's games on there, such as Diablo, and then the possibility of WoW being on Game Pass and it possibly covering a WoW subscription is some speculation.
Interesting.
And that's not a bad deal. Like, if you, for less than WoW, you can have WoW plus every other Microsoft game, and yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Game Pass is already a good deal, like, hands down. Like,
There was a leak about the Game Pass Friends and Family package.
yeah,
So I think it's something like you can buy a package for you and 3 other people, whether they're in your family, but like not your household. So, because you already have the opportunity to share within your household, anybody who has access to my console can access Game Pass Library without a subscription. So with the friends and family, you could be like, hey, Charles, here's your code for your console, and hey, so and so, here's yours.
okay, that's cool. So we got some things we could talk about next week. Just the news shows are always the ones it's hard for me to keep up with sometimes with everything going on. So we'll
I don't know if you saw on Twitter this week a bunch of people were hyping up the rumor mill that for the next Nintendo Direct, it's gonna be Zelda heavy, with allegedly announcements for
Breath of the Wild 2.
Wind Waker remaster, Twilight Princess remaster for Switch, things like that. And I'm like, how about we all chill, we stop speculating, and we just wait for the thing to come and see what they announce.
I can't see a Wind Waker remaster happening. That's already happened, and that's happened within not that long ago.
Yeah.
As well as a Twilight Princess. Like I
said, why don't I would chalk that up to the same as like the Switch Pro rumor mill. How about we stop speculating and we just wait until it's actually announced to declare it be a thing?
From day one, I don't care what people have said, I still do not believe Switch Pro or anything like that is going to be a thing. Like, they have not, in my eyes, really hinted at that at all. And Pan was the opposite. Pan was like, Switch Pro, and I was just like, it ain't happening. I don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, because they keep releasing all these special editions of normal Switches, and it doesn't feel like they're going to release a Pro. I don't know. I mean, like, I still have an extra Switch, too, because I had to replace one again. Not recently. You guys know when it happened. But the girls I'll now have full Switches, not lights. And so I have an extra light now. So, again.
Well, at least you got a backup, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like, here I was playing Shovel Knight. So, I've been getting on Chance. He's not using his Switch properly, his 4 switches, like he has for himself. I have 3 switches. 3 for the girls and the 1 extra, because replacing a girl's one, it didn't work that well.
So he's got the Rise one. I assume he has like a launch edition one.
He has the Rise one. Is there a Diamond and Pearl one?
There was a Switch Lite.
Yeah, he has that one,
I believe.
Yeah, he has the Diamond and Pearl Lite. He has a base Lite, and he has his original, like, Switch. And
see, when I got my Rise one, I sold my original one. So
right. So the only reason why I haven't sold the yellow one that doesn't work as well, because Cece wanted to play the new sports game, you can't do that on a light. So I got her. There was a used Animal Crossing Switch that I got her. So
right.
That's why I have an extra Switch right now. But like, he keeps playing different games. So he's like, this is my Monster Hunter Switch, so I play Monster Hunter on it. But he'll want to play on the road, and because it's not his main Switch, it won't let him play because it does that check. But if it's your main Switch, it doesn't do that check. And I'm like, dude, just pick a Switch, put all your games you want to play on it, and make that your main Switch. His main Switch is still the very first one because he doesn't feel like dealing with it. I'm like, it's not that hard. Just transfer which one's the main one. Like, yes, it's a stupid system, but the fix is easy. Like,
yeah.
He's like, no, I just won't play.
Plus, like, micro SD cards are coming down in price, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a decent one. So, do we have anything else we want to talk about tonight? Obviously, I'm probably going to be talking more about Mass Effect as the weeks go, because I'll probably... I don't know, you're making it sound like I'm getting pretty far. I didn't feel like I was. I felt like I was scratching the surface.
No, you are and you aren't. So, like, the BioWare formula is you get, like, 3... I like to think of them as chapters. They're your, like, main mission arcs. And then it's all gonna, and you can do them in whatever order you want. And then you funnel into your rising story up to the climax. So you get like a couple of main missions.
Right. So
and that usually takes as long as the 3 chapters combined. So you're probably like 30% through the game.
That's what That's what I was
Maybe.
told by Brian, because my friend Brian's a really big Mass Effect fan, and he's been interested in my playthrough as well. And he was like, "How far are you?" And I was like, when I talked to him, I was about ready to get Asari, so I had just done the Thorian, and he was like, "You've already done that?" And I was like, "He's like, you must be pretty far." I was like, "I don't know. It was the first thing I did. Like, it was a main story mission. Like,
It's hard to frame it too, because everybody has kind of like the way that they play. And so for me, like I said, I always go get Liara, and then I really punish myself and I go to Noveria next. And it's always really tough because it's too early level wise in my opinion to go. But I want to go.
I think Noveria is the one place I haven't gone yet, because I've done those. I've done the asteroid. Like, I really like going to places I'm not supposed to be yet and doing side quests. That's what I've been doing.
I know the Thorian bit is going to have the whole thing with you want to have like 6 grenades to save everybody.
I think I had a max of 4. I think.
Yeah, which you get more as you progress through. So just everybody plays different. So when you say, "Oh, I've done the Thorian," I'm like, "Man, I didn't do the Thorian until I was like 30 hours into the game."
Yep. That was a tough boss fight too. That was not fun. As far as like, that was probably the worst fight that I've had in the game.
They
Thorian.
rush you a lot in that one, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Well, you can still full clear, but the Asari that comes after you can be really strong at times, and other times I threw a disruption at her and she just crumples. Like, all right.
Well, it sounds like you also roll with some of the weaker party members.
Rex and Garrus at the time is what I was using.
Well, yeah, Rex and Garrus would be your best one. Garrus, no. Garrus is not. Garrus is really good for damage output, but I remember that the party members that I was the angriest with, especially early in the game, are Garrus and Liara.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But you're getting far enough in that they're all going to be pretty good when they're leveled.
So I got to figure out a person I'm going to leave behind, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Ashley.
I mean, yeah. she's kind of a terrible person.
Like, I'm okay with a light amount of spoilers as long as it's like, yeah, she's weird. I always talk to her though, because it's entertaining to talk to her. But like I said, the only person I don't talk to is the psionic guy. That's it.
I will say that the only interesting bit that he really gives you is if you're interested in learning more about how humans created biotics. Because biotics it's not normal for humans, aren't born with that.
Right.
Like how the Asaris have natural biotic abilities, and Krogans sometimes have natural biotic ability.
Right.
But the humans had to create it, and it was very, very dark.
Kind of like, have you seen The Dragon Prince on Netflix?
No, but it's very much like how they created Eleven in Stranger Things.
Sure. So Dragon Prince, the big overarching concept of one of the things that's humans versus like the natural world of like elves and dragons and stuff. And humans don't do magic. They can't do magic is a big thing. So they created dark magic, which is sucking the life and magic out of other beings and using it.
Interesting.
So, did you watch the I don't know if you've ever watched the Avatar series, The Last Airbender?
No.
Okay. I highly suggest, if you can, and it is kid friendly, if you can watch Dragon Prince. It's a very fun show. It's a Netflix original, so it's just there. and it's a lot of the writers and some of the voice actors of the original Avatar Airbender series that I feel it's a little more grown up and adult than the Avatar series, and I like it, but it's still kids. It's just better at tackling some things. So yeah, and it has a lot less fluff episodes. It's pretty go. Like there's not a lot of downtime with that one. So I highly suggest it. But it has the same sort of theme of humans can't do magic, thus they created dark magic. And they are hated for it because, well, you're basically killing things to make magic. So, and it starts the whole war and concept. And yeah, it's like, I can't give this example. I mean, Ace would know the example of, it's like the Avatar, if you're following the Avatar from someone from the Fire Nation during the time, because like they're the aggressors, right? So you're sort of like, your point of view is the human point of view, but you realize the human point of view might be the not good point of view in the series. Which, I mean, it's not really a secret even early in the series, but it's really good at it's just good.
I may be more related to Korra because Korra has the dark avatar essentially.
Sure.
Where what's his face joins up with Vatu, which is like the opposite of Rava, which is the spirit that gives the avatar the connection to all the previous avatars and the ability to bend all four elements.
I've only ever watched the first season of Korra, so
you should watch the rest. It's pretty damn good.
We'll see.
Do it.
I could, but we'll see. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up, and of course, doing our normal schedule. We're doing not next week is news, but after that, I think we'll do another round of the Monster Hunter one, unless you're out of town or something, Sasha.
No, I'll be home.
Okay, so we'll do the next round of Monster Hunter guessing. I think that went pretty well. I think the numbers are a bit messed up because SoundCloud had a hosting problem. I don't know if you saw that. I know Ace did, where all of our episodes were gone for a shorter period of time. Like no one could listen, and I don't know how long that was. I just happened to notice at some point. I was like,
well, for me, when I checked on Google Podcasts, it wasn't all of them, but it was like a significant number of them, to the point where there were like 10 or 15 left, and then like
there was points
fluctuating how many were up. So I think they might have been experiencing like a server outage or something like that.
They were. The customer support finally contacted me. It's like, hey, we had an outage during that time. Hopefully everything's still good. I'm like, yeah, we're good now. But like, it was Thursday night, I think, and that is the day that I figured out all of my stuff going on with the kids. Like, I figured, like, I was like, I don't need this today. I don't want this today. I just want the podcast to work, please.
Right.
Like, so, thanks everyone for watching and listening. Hope you had fun listening to our Guess the Game episode 10. And we'll catch you next time. Be sure to follow @HuntersHubPod on Twitter. We had someone reach out and join the Discord this week who reached out to me through a DM. That's perfectly fine. That's awesome. They couldn't find the Discord, so I think I gotta put that out there more often. So I probably will.
Attach it to the podcast announcement.
I run out of characters on that podcast announcement every time, so
hit plus.
I know.
Add a tweet to the tweet.
I know. I can. I don't like.
Do what I do.
Those don't. The buried tweets don't tend to do as well, but I'll do something. And then follow @AceBadgerGaming as well if you want to see his stuff. I haven't been on Twitter much this week at all, so I have no idea what you've been doing on there, Ace. Just the family stuff going on. And then
surprise, it was me. I hacked the servers for the podcast, and I was messing with you the whole time.
It's a pretty crappy way to mess with someone. Like, hey, this 5 years of work you've been doing, it's gone.
I mean,
I thought I got
yeah,
copyright struck or something. Like, I thought that, because it was on the level of just, I pulled it up, there are no episodes. I'm like, what do you mean there's no episodes? We have 322 tracks under this podcast. What do you mean there are no episodes?
I mean, that's the unfortunate and scary part about doing stuff on the internet, especially if you rely on it as a job with
Sure.
larger creators, is that it can just be gone in a flash.
Right.
And like right now, there's stuff going on with drama around it because YouTube isn't being like very clear with like their rules and guidelines.
Like usual.
I don't know if you've heard about the game Mortuary Assistant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a horror game. A lot of people are streaming it right now, and there is a scene in it that involves like suicide, and some content creators are getting their videos flagged and demonetized, whereas others aren't. And then when they reach out to YouTube. Suddenly like Markiplier and some like the larger YouTubers got their videos flagged and demonetized and then reinstated. So it's like really bizarre. Like
they're playing favorites.
Can't. And some have brought up the because they haven't given like clear like guidelines or examples or statements on it. I forget his name, but he's sort of friends with Jacksepticeye.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacksepticeye like came to his defense on like him putting out the statement of it could possibly be racism too, because like they're not giving clear like examples of why it's getting demonetized and why other people are staying monetized when it includes the exact same content, the exact same scenes and whatnot. So
I hope that they have founding for calling it racism though, because like that's not
he didn't like levy it just like half-assed. He like addressed like that it was like a very serious claim to make, but like
I'm just saying, I hope
I can send you the video too, but like
I'm just saying I hope he did due diligence, because when you accuse someone of something that far, that is a very and it ends up being like, let's say it ends up being not true and entirely so. That's a big uphill to not pedal back. That obviously, if that's what they're seeing, then yeah, sure, call it out. But it's as serious because you're not going to get a good reaction if it's not true. Like, it's going to make whatever solution that they're trying to get to harder. Which is why it's always serious on both ends. But for sure, if it is that, then yeah, that needs to be called out. Yeah, wow. No, I have not been paying attention to YouTube drama because I don't care. Literally, the only YouTubers that I've been watching lately are Game Grumps, and I watched some more Doom stuff lately, and that's it. That's it.
Fair enough. I mean, you got your background stuff going on, so I don't blame you.
Oh no, the Mount Pain 27, he's not background. That is me fully watching, 100% paying attention every time. I love Mount Pain. He just does reviews for level sets, and they're funny, and I enjoy them. So yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. That's a very rambling goodbye, but as usual, I guess. And see you soon. Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.